Welcome to Baked HR with Jasmine,
And Christina,
where we put the HR in humor.
here, there are no cover letters, no handbooks, just our take on
HR.
and recruiting.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, Jasmine.
We are here to talk about your favorite topic tonight.
I'm sorry. I don't know why you're lying to the audience, but it is not my favorite topic. But hopefully, it is Benefit Friend's favorite topic. Welcome to the show, Benefits Friend. How are you tonight?
I'm good. My open enrollment kicks off next week, so I guess I'm good.
Well, you're here, so that's better than the alternative. So before we jump into our open enrollment questions, how about you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello, audience. My name is April. I am Benefits Friend. I've been in HR for many years. That's 18.
That was very smooth. That was very smooth.
I try. Benefits, I'm going to say I've been doing it for 10, 11 years. I've got my Certified Employee Benefits Specialist certification and my SPHR. So sometimes the words that come out of my mouth are knowledgeable.
The fact that you had to speak it out as you were thinking about it.
The society calls it the SEEBS, and I really hate saying SEEBS because it just sounds kind of dweeby.
I like SEEBS. I'd go with SEEBS, but I want to camp on that for just a second because I don't know very many people with that certification. So how do you go about getting that certification in case anyone else decides that they're just as nerdy about benefits as you are by the end of this episode?
Well, as the president of the local chapter, that's probably a thing I should be able to tell you. It's through the International Foundation of Employee Benefit Plans. So it's ifepb.com or .org. And you take classes through there. There's 5 tests. Took me about a year and a half. Covers everything from social benefits to employer benefits, retiree benefits, 401k, calculation of investments. There's some math. I'm going to warn you ahead of time.
Okay, so this is a pretty thorough, intense certification that reinforces the fact that you do know what you're talking about when we ask you these questions. We're not going to ask you any math questions tonight.
Good.
I don't think.
Thank God.
But I will jump in with our first question because I know we have a lot of followers who are either Department of Ones or they are very small departments, like 1 or 2 people that support a lot of employees. So when you have multiple HR priorities in your small team, what are some things that you recommend for HR professionals to work on in advance to prepare for a smooth open enrollment process? And maybe how far in advance should they be doing these things?
So if you don't have a broker, get one. That's the biggest advice I can give you. Even if you are a department of 1 and you've got 100 employees, get a broker. If you're in the state of Alabama, Blue Cross may not play well with them, but they can still help you. A broker is going to kick off your open enrollment research probably in July. So July to end of September, 1st of October, depending on when your enrollment is effective. You're going to go through planning, research, and a broker is going to be there to support you. If you're on your own, keep a checklist. You're going to want to build a communication timeline so that you can get what you need out to the employees and still do everything else that you need to do. So that timeline and that checklist, they're going to be your best friend.
I am interested in the communication aspect of this. So one thing I was thinking as we were preparing for this episode, I was like, man, I really wish I could have been I could have stuck around with one of my positions at the manufacturing plant to see what open enrollment would have been like at that manufacturing plant. Like, that would have been very interesting. So, how much information, when we're preparing communications for employees, how much information is too much information, especially since we all know that the employees aren't going to read it?
That
Knew
is
she was about
probably
to come for employees. I knew it. I knew it.
that is probably the most frustrating part, is that you go through all this work and you put so much effort into having a successful open enrollment,
Mhm.
and then folks don't read. It's so annoying. So, I mean, just your employee population, you know how they like to receive information. Give it to them where they are. If you've got an internal blog, put it there. If you've got a, what is it, Confluence or SharePoint site, put all your links out there. If you've got, people that like text messages and you have that capability, send them a text message just to say, hey, open enrollment's coming, here are the dates. If you can mail something to people, mail it to them at their home so that hopefully somebody in their house will read it. This is a thing I'm trying this year. I took one piece of paper, folded it in half, booklet style, and I've got on the inside of it what our dates are, when, how to enroll, if it's required, and what our changes are. It's the things that most people want to know. And then if you've got more questions, email this email address and we'll be happy to help you. So put it all out there, but put it all out there in ways that they will consume it. So if you're mailing them a benefits guide and that's the only thing you're doing, if somebody that's 18 doesn't care about that, send them a text message. So do what they want.
That's very interesting because you always, well, in my experience, you get where like typically it's the wife calling and saying, hey, I tried to go to the doctor, my benefits, through my husband aren't working. I'm trying to figure out what happened. And the husband's like, oh yeah, I think we went through open enrollment at some point, but I forgot to do it. Like I've had that happen in multiple positions.
Yes. Or they've left the kids off.
Or they're like Christina and they wait until the very last day to complete it.
Yes.
Okay, but two things. This conversation took a turn because you just singled out like wives and male employees, and I feel like spouses would have been a better term for that story.
You are correct. You are correct.
Two things. Getting it done on the last day of open enrollment is still getting it done before the deadline. So don't come at me, okay? I'm still getting it done.
My strategy for open enrollment is I will give you 2 weeks. And that first week, I'm going to be an angel. The second week, starting on about Tuesday, you get an email from me every day. On Friday, you get an email from me every couple of hours that says open enrollment ends Friday. If you don't do anything, you're not going to have benefits. Open enrollment ends at 5 Central Standard Time. If you don't enroll, you and your family won't have benefits. I have a 100% participation rate every year because I pester the hell out of them. It's annoying, but it works.
Okay, but there's a benefit to you to pester them, right? Because it's easier for you. I mean, if they don't, this is a safe place. Because if I do it at 5:30, am I really not going to have benefits? Are you really not going to help me?
No, and I'm going to tell you a secret. There's always a grace period that we don't tell anyone about.
Oh.
There's usually, we call it a cleanup period.
Okay.
For us, it's usually a week.
Okay.
So if somebody comes in and says, I left my spouse off, I left my kids off, my spouse is going to leave me, add my kids. There's that grace period to do it.
Okay. I like that. I want to go back to the first thing that you said, find a broker. How do I know if I found a good broker or not? And I want to find out before I have a bad open enrollment. So what am I looking for in a broker?
You're looking for somebody that's knowledgeable. So if you don't know anything about benefits, the first thing I'd tell you to do is Google it, educate yourself a little bit, and then go find somebody. Then go find somebody that is patient with you, that can answer your questions, somebody that's got resources behind them that, not some little Joe that runs his own place. I would go with somebody that's got some resources, particularly if you're at a company that's planning to grow. You want somebody that's going to grow with you.
Okay. Yeah, I had a client this year who was struggling because they had a broker that was great for them when they were much smaller and they don't have the ability to grow with them, but it was also like a local kind of mom and pop style, I guess, broker. And so like everyone feels really guilty that they're the majority, they're a big percentage of that place's work, but they're not capable of growing with them. They've already outgrown this broker. And so it's been an emotional process to make that decision to leave and get with a broker that has the capability and the resources to continue.
It
So
can
I'm
be
glad
hard
that you
because
pointed that out.
they're a broker's a partner. I mean, it's an extension of your HR team.
Yeah.
They're who talk to the carriers on your behalf. So it can be hard to break up with a broker. I've done it. It's hard.
Well, and for those of us who don't know a lot about benefits, I genuinely wouldn't know if I didn't have a good broker, because if you can sound like you know benefits, I'm like, oh, okay. I might send you a text and be like, does this sound right? And if it's totally wrong, then I'm like, oh, maybe I don't have a good broker. But not everyone has you.
Well, that's
So
the benefit of just having a network of, HR friends or
yeah.
HR peers. Have somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. I don't do recruiting. I know squat about recruiting. So you're who I would call if I had questions.
I have an update for you. Now you can also call Jasmine with your recruiting questions, because she is quickly becoming a recruiter queen.
All right, and on to the last question. No, seriously, coming from someone who really does love benefits, I will say I mean, like, I'm growing to love benefits, which is surprising to me. Like, really very surprising to me. But, you know, why do you think people hate open enrollment so much, or benefits people specifically hate open enrollment so much?
That's a loaded question. So it's so many things. Carriers, I'm going to blame them. Like I said, our open enrollment goes live Monday. And an hour ago, I signed and sent back our enrollment agreements and signed benefit documents to one carrier because they just got them to me. It's,
That's kind of close.
It's every year. It's systems, doing testing, trying to, work through bugs, putting together documents for employees, trying to get finance to approve things. There are a lot of moving parts. There's a lot to stay on top of, in addition to everything else we are expected to do. So it's year end. So you're doing performance reviews, compensation, holiday stuff, budget stuff. There's so much going on this time of year. And then you've got open enrollment and employee questions.
So why don't we just move open enrollment?
So you would have to redo your plans with all of your carriers. If you've got stop loss coverage, there are issues with renegotiating that contract and run out periods on claims. It's hard.
So maybe a benefit, like a calendar year benefits, I mean, it has its downsides, because you're right. All those other things you listed, we're all doing at the same time.
Yeah, if you can start off your benefit plans on an off cycle, be it 7/1, 6/1, your life will be a little bit easier. The problem you're going to run into there is the government runs on a calendar year. So FSA, HSA, dependent care, all of those are going to come out 1/1 to 12/31.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. Now I understand. Because I'm just like, just move open enrollment. Because I know not everyone does. Jasmine and I were talking about how, most people we know are doing open enrollment late October, maybe November, in preparation for the next calendar year. But I know that I've worked with companies who have had like a July 1 start date. So their open enrollment was earlier in the year. But because I don't know benefits like benefits, didn't know about these other challenges that might be smacking those orgs in the face.
Well, April, we're going to have you back so we can bore Christina some more on benefits.
I'm happy to bore her senseless.
Educate, whatever. Same difference.
All right. Well, y'all, I think that is all for us tonight. We just wanted to give you all some quick facts and information on benefits, open enrollment. If you have questions, ask us, y'all. Like we're about to be like benefits queen. Can we say benefits queen too?
Benefits nerds.
Do not ask us your benefits questions, but please feel free to leave them in the comments and we will make sure April comes back and sees them.
Or ask the questions. They'll just call me anyway.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. If we've ever answered a benefits question for you in the Instagram DMs, just know that she probably gave us the response.
Probably so.
More than likely. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go eat a Christmas tree cake. So I hope y'all have a great night. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.